today. I'm Joyce with Blue Cross and Blue Shield as your marketing coordinator. So I'm going to talk a little bit about your health and wellness benefits that are on top of your medical benefits that you have today. So in a small room, if you don't have any questions, feel free to ask. So this is the medical benefit plan, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about the health advocates. So the YouTube benefits are very rich, as you probably know if you've had them for a little bit, or if you're new, just know that y'all do have really good benefits. One of the things that you have rolled into your benefits is a health advocate. So if you look at the left side of the screen, most of the time our members think up with their benefits, just understanding what they are, even if it's an office visit. Claims questions, when your claims process, what does that look like? What's the patient care? What does it want? So your advocates can help you with all the things that you see on the left. The methods that you guys can do that is by calling in. That's the best way to reach an advocate. An important thing I want y'all to know about that is that the UT advocates are not a call center. They are dedicated to UT members. They take member calls specifically for the different institutions all day long. So they're very familiar. It's not someone that's taking calls for someone else or is not familiar. So they are the best place to start anytime you have any medical needs or questions on your benefits. We have an app, and then we also have a chat feature, and of course, looking online. So in addition to your advocates that you have, all the people that are listed over on the right, you'll actually have utilization management specialists. We have behavioral health licensing people that work on behavioral health services. We also have a pharmacist that kind of looks at your prescriptions or those being taken. Now, ESI is your prescription program, but we also have a pharmacist on board just to help answer some of those questions. We also have the clinical health advocate. So a clinical health advocate, the difference there is they're actually registered nurses. So if you call an advocate and you have a medical question that they can't answer, they can actually just connect with the clinical nurse, or if you need to speak to the nurse, they can transfer you over and you'll have access to be able to speak to more than the advocate, all the people that are listed on the side. We also have social workers in case there's any need for that, and a medical director if they're needing to look at something that's medically necessary or maybe what options are good for you. So back on the health advocate. So again, they can help you understand your benefits. They also help schedule appointments. Most people are caregivers helping other people, taking care of children, maybe their parents. So we're all very busy. So we want to be able to take that lift off of you guys and help schedule those appointments. So they can help with chronic illnesses, things that you had before, or if you happen to have a new diagnosis and don't know where to start. Doctor's offices can be a little busy sometimes, but you need some follow-up after and say, okay, this is what happened. What does this really mean? You can start with your advocate. Same thing on upcoming surgery. If you're not sure what you're going to need, what that looks like, what your cost is going to be, they can help with cost comparison to see which hospital may be less than another, and help you there. So you know what your patient share is going to look like before you go. They can't give you an exact dollar amount, but they can help you with your deductible, your co-pays. So again, they can help you with your personal issues that you're having, someone else on your policy. Even if you're having, let's say that you're taking care of a parent or maybe a child that aren't on your policy and it's causing you stress, it's causing a lot of things that are affecting you, we can still help you with that. So maybe see if there's resources in the community that can help with transportation or something like that. So they don't pay for it, but they can help to resources that will help you understand things that really you didn't think were available to you. So the other thing that to remember is that you see that Blue Cross is calling you, it's most likely because it's something that's triggered on your account, probably a claim that may say that, hey, this person may need a little bit of extra help with their medical benefits. Maybe it's a cancer diagnosis or diabetes or something. So we'll have the clinical nurses call because they want to make sure that you're sure of all the resources that are available to you. So it's not going to be a sales call. No one's going to try to call you and sell you anything or ask you to extend your car insurance or anything like that. It is actually one of our specialists calling to see how we can help. So social determinants of health is something that, we've really been focused on this last year because we've seen with COVID happening and some of the pandemic items we've seen, that people aren't necessarily taking that journey to better their health. So in looking at that, some of the things, are their economic stability and the barriers on transportation. Some people were needing to get the therapy, but because they needed therapy, they weren't able to drive themselves. So they weren't doing that. Our health advocates can help connect them with the social worker to make sure that they're able to get it. Things like access to healthy food, maybe they're not able to grocery shop on their own, but what are their health services in the community that can help? So we'll have those, we have members of our team that can help with that, and sometimes it's safety concerns. So the point behind all of that is that we did figure out that 80% of people not showing their care, not doing their care, is because of one of the items that's listed there. There was a barrier there, and they just couldn't. Yes, we know we need to take care of ourselves, but sometimes there's barriers in the way. So Blue Cross can help with that. Again, our team does collaborate together. Sorry, I went a little too fast. So I just put a slide on here just to kind of show you the different team members that are listed on here. So we don't expect you guys to be the experts. Let us handle that, basically. So we work across the specialties that you saw there, and then we also reach out to the providers. Authorizations kind of can be sticky sometimes. They'll say, well, you need an authorization. You as members don't have time to call and figure that out, nor do you know what to ask sometimes, right? So let us help with that. So we'll work with the providers to get those, and if it's information they need, we can work with them to get that rather than having you guys have to stand in the middle there. So we also added, this is new in 2023. We added a dietitian because a lot of blood pressure members that have issues with that or diabetes. We were needing to help encourage them on those. So we actually have a dietitian that you can speak with also, instead of, some people choose to do nutrition outside, but we have one on it to help as well. And then this is just a screenshot of our pharmacists and how they can help. Some of the things that they help with are just health outcomes, and then helping with that medication adherence. We've seen some members that maybe were only filling their prescription every month because they couldn't afford it or because they had other issues. So again, we wanted to add someone on the team that was knowledgeable with that. They can help fill those gaps. They can also help with pharmacy costs to help reach those. So it's not necessarily something where they pay for the prescription itself, but they can help find discount programs and make it more easily available. So anyone have Blue Access for members? Yes, we have one. One of these days I'm gonna get 100% in it. One of these. Okay. So Blue Access for members is Blue Cross's platform. This has everything that we're gonna talk about today. It also has your claims when those get processed. It has your benefits listed. And it has your deductibles and your copays. That has all of that listed, and it actually does almost like a bank ledger. So if you had doctor's offices and paid your deductible, it's gonna show you how much you've spent for the year, based on the claims system process. So does have the claims history, your explanation of benefits, also known as your EOBs. That's when the claim comes in, it's paid, and then processed, shows your patient share. Encourage you all to always check those. It'll show all your dependents if you have those. Your prescription benefit is on there. You can manage your mobile and texting preferences if you choose to get notifications. If you don't have to have those, but you can opt in or opt out. Anybody ever been to the doctor's office and you forget your ID card? Will they see you? No, not usually. Sometimes they will or they won't. If you have Blue Access for members downloaded on your phone, you can pull it up on your phone and show it to them there. And they can, it'll be a temporary card, but it'll have it on there, or you can always contact an advocate and they can fax it over for you. Provider Finder is on there, and you're curious about doctors, hospitals in your area. Maybe you have a friend, word of mouth has told you about a doctor, and you want to check on them, see if they're contracting, so you get your highest level of benefits. You can also do that there. All of your wellness that we're going to talk about is listed out here. The registration is really easy. There's a QR code at the top if you would like to start that now. If not, you can use your Blue Cross website to be able to do that. The sign up is really easy. You pick a login and a password, and it'll get you right to the platform with your information. If you ever have problems with that, most of you probably have millions of usernames and passwords. If you ever have a problem with that, just call the number on the back of your ID card. Your advocates can help reset this. So don't stress yourself out over it if you don't, we can help with that. We also have the app, and you can be able to download that by texting the number below. And to your wellness benefits, it's everything that it's kind of above your medical and what they offer for you guys as kind of a bonus within that healthy benefit. So I won't stop here because we're going to go through each one of these. And this year, we're really trying to encourage everyone to get their preventative care services. That took a dip too with COVID. Doctors couldn't see patients, patients couldn't see doctors. So we weren't getting our routine checkups, our blood work to know what our CBCs were, to know what, if we had white blood cells, red blood cells, all those counts when you've had cancer. So we've seen that people coming out of that, we really want to encourage them to have the preventative services, because if there's something going on, you touched it earlier, you're probably going to have a better outcome if you catch it earlier. So if you're curious to know what your preventative services are, I have a listing out there at the table, and it goes from adults down to children if you have children. And I keep mine on the refrigerator and I mark it off because I have 3 children. So I mark it off as I go through the years to make sure that we're all getting our health care. So I want to make sure and encourage you to do that. We do have digital services for mental health, because mental health is very important, and we want to encourage you to use that if it's needed. So we're going to talk about Learn to Live. So Learn to Live is a digital program that's going to help with the diagnoses that you see here on the left. So any stress, depression, social anxiety, insomnia, panic, and also substance abuse. So this is actually a self-help tool online that'll kind of guide you through to help you with self-help reference. We still have services that are available outside of this where you can actually speak with people, but there are coaching platforms through here, and we have the program in Spanish and English. Anyone that is registered on your plan, 13 above, can use this service, and there's no cost to the members here. We all do have 24/7 nurse line. Anytime that you need help, you'll have access to be able to pick up the call and say, hey, my son has an earache at 2:30 in the morning. Should I take him to the emergency room? Or I have this rash, and this rash has gotten bigger throughout the day. Do I need to go see someone that can help with that? So this number is the same number. UT was very diligent in making sure that you guys didn't have a whole lot of numbers to remember, because we all deal with numbers all day long. So this number is the same number that's on the back of your ID card. So I would put that into your phone if you have the opportunity to do that. You can speak with someone 24/7. One of the women's family health programs that we have is OBIA Health. So it goes through your fertility and tracking. OBIA parenting, I really like this one because most dads, when they're new, they have new babies, they don't know how to help. They're just getting out of mom's way, let her do her thing, right? And moms are like, no, you know, I need you in here right now. So this helps with parenting for dads too. So I think it's really neat that we have that to kind of help with how they can help and what they can do. This year, OBIA added menopause and a mental health screen. You'll see mental health is really just up and coming and becoming just as important as medical. And I really do love that. So they added managing menopause. So this actually for women is the whole journey, which is really great. All right. So this one is on the fitness program. So you guys do have, nope, this is Blue 365, sorry. Y'all have access to programs that are discounts. When you log into BAM, I know everyone can do it today, right? When you log into BAM, it'll be in the top right-hand corner. And it'll say Blue 365, and there's just a bunch of discounts and deals that you have just for being a Houston Select member. So some of the examples are like the Fitbits or watch trackers, and then down to your shoes. Kind of just encourage motion and wellness, health and beauty, things like that. And this one is the fitness program. So this is, y'all have the option to join the fitness gyms at a discounted rate. So the monthly fee is listed there at the top. They have studio classes, they're family friendly, and they make it really convenient to make a payment. So you have access to discounted rates for that.
Could have planned a stretching exercise on here, right? Okay, well, that's not gonna pull up, so I'm gonna wing it. You'll also have access to Wonder Health. So Wonder Health is not a diet, but it's kind of a nutritional focused program. There's no cost to that either. It kind of focuses on your diet, things you can do 4th of July. Take fruit with you instead of cookies. It'll just give you little tips and tricks. Set your fork down between each bite. There's several of them. It's a lot of things that you just wouldn't even think about. Maybe identifying the time that you eat late at night or what time you eat in the morning, and then focusing on how you feel after you eat. That one doesn't cost anything either. You can also find it online. One of the other things I was going to talk about, sorry guys, I'm sorry it's not working and I don't have a visual to show you, but MD Live is a virtual visit. So did anyone use virtual visits during COVID? We couldn't get in to see doctors. You did? Good, good. So MD Live is something that's included on y'all's insurance plan. This eliminates your copay. You don't have to pay a copay if you do this. But if you pre-register for MD Live, you can go on and virtually see the provider on the computer, on your app, what kind of, so you can see them. And when he shared with me that he did MD Live, it took him 5 minutes to be able to speak to the doctor. So you don't have that commute time to get to the doctor and do all of that. And they can actually follow your prescriptions in for you. You can also see them for mental health, behavioral health also. So again, no copay on the MD Live. If you're interested in signing up, that's in blue outfit for members. You can go out there on the right left-hand side. It'll be out there for that. I encourage everyone to sign up for that first, because the last thing I want to do whenever I need medical care is to have someone spending time getting registered. So I go out and I have a registration so that I can just pick it up and say, okay, I need help with this. So I would encourage you to get pre-registered. We went over Alada and Livongo. So Alada and Livongo are programs that y'all have on your plan that doesn't cost anything, and they have the blood pressure cuff for hypertension, and then they also do monitor. Thank you. Thank you. They have the monitors for your glucose monitor and your supplies. So those are all listed out there as well. And then the last thing that I had to discuss is Headway. So we realized that with behavioral health and kind of the way things have gone virtually, that providers were hard to see for behavioral health. You know, you call, you're having depression, you're having this issue, you need to talk to someone, you need to talk to a professional, but it was hard to get into anyone. So Headway is a program online that has a platform for you guys to be able to see what providers are out there and eligible for you. So there's 4,000 in Texas, all through Texas. You can see them virtually and you can actually select their style. So some of them will be goal oriented, some of them will be warm, some of them will be direct, and you can kind of see that because every doctor is not the right fit, right? Sometimes you go in and you're like, not for me. So you can do that. And you can actually pre-schedule out, if you like this person, you can pre-schedule out in advance instead of having to go to your appointment, wait till you get there, and then you have to schedule your next appointment. So you can do that online also. And you don't have to check your Blue Access Member Provider Finder. If you're looking at them on Headway, they are trying to get with us. So your co-pays would still apply there. The better pays. So I think the last thing I had to go over was just to make sure that the ID card that you have, make sure y'all are calling that number and speaking with the advocates that they can help with probably more than you thought. Yeah. And you'll have a lot of great benefits. So do you have any questions for me? Yeah.
For the dietitian, do you need to have a required diagnosis in order to utilize that? Because I know some of the extra services you have to have a diagnosis.
Right. Yeah, so I would just call and let them know what your concerns are to see what they have, and they'll be able to make that decision. Yeah, that's a good question.
Can you go back to the slide, could you talk about the different,
Yeah.
benefits?
I think I can. Let me try.
Are those rates there, are they, what, we pay out of pocket, or is there an additional gym charge as well?
So those will be made directly to the gym. Oh, look, we have more screens. Can y'all see that up on the screen over there behind me? There you go. Oh, sure. Mhm. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just gonna say, if anyone is interested in silver sneakers, we also have a fitness program for silver sneakers for anyone that's age 50. You do have to be retired to be able to participate in silver sneakers. Wonder Health, we talked about that. Isn't that? Those offers were really. Oh, great. Oh, we need to talk about Hinge Health. So Hinge Health is a digital program. This is at no cost to you guys. Anybody ever had to have physical therapy, those appointments can get. You have to pay your co-pays. Hinge Health is their like a digital program. So they actually send you a monitor. Let's say it's on your knee. They're going to send you a monitor that's going to work with a device to show that your exercises are being done correctly. So they put you on a regimen, how many times a week you need to do what exercise, and then they're going to check your form as you're doing it to make sure you're properly strengthening the area that's needed. So the goal for Hinge Health is to try to keep members from having to have surgery. You don't want that. And, you know, they want to make sure that you're getting healthier without that, unless it's absolutely necessary. So we talked about Livongo, welcome kit, and the glucose monitor. The important thing to know about Livongo is that it's actually if you have been diagnosed with diabetes. There's your MD Live if no one's registered. If you're interested, there's a QR code there that'll take you straight out to it. The Omada, by the slide thing, because I really like the scale. Omada is actually diabetes prevention, so it's to try to help before people get onto the diabetes. Usually it's type 2, of course. This one actually comes with a scale, and the neat thing about Livongo that was on the other page and Omada is the scale does track your weight. Anybody ever played the Wii? I remember stepping on it and go, oh, this one doesn't do that. But this is a scale that'll track it. It actually gives you a chart when you download the app and you look at it, and it'll tell you what your weight is all throughout the time. So you kind of see what your valleys and lows are. So they also have professional coaches, and then they also have a little bit of a team chat that you can get into and participate with. So you help encourage each other. It's all very positive. It's a good experience. I think I'm not diligent about my lessons, but I'm going to get better. And this is Headway, that piece I was talking about, that is the platform for you to be able to look at the providers and their styles. So it's pretty simple. There's a Texas map here, so you can kind of see how they're all over Texas. And you can see them virtually, or you actually have the option to look at it in person also. But there's still some down in the Health area down here. You had a question?
I actually had some comments. I've actually utilized Wonder, and that program was amazing for those of you who haven't tried it. There's like really great tips, and they send you, like, for example, like this juice, bottle, and it says like first thing in the morning, if you're hungry, hydrate, and do this mixture of juice and water, like, there's different things like that that really encourage healthy habits and there's healthy eating habits. And I've also utilized Hinge Health, and I was super impressed. I usually, when I stress out and with work, I stress out a lot. I get a lot of neck pain. And I was like, oh, I gotta do something about this because it gives me really bad headaches. So I did Hinge Health. They send that tablet with the sensors, and they send like these stretch bands, and they show you, like he said, how to go through the exercises, and they get more and more challenging each week. Surprisingly, it did really help. But they also correct you because you'll be doing things wrong, and the sensor may not catch it. So don't do this. And you're like, okay, that's really neat. You should try it.
Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. Awesome.
I have a question about those apps. Those are very helpful. Just when we register for those, do we need to like register through the website of Blue Access phone number? Or just download app and register for yourself?
Whatever's easier for you. Blue Access for members has each one, so if you have, free time, I don't know what that is, but if you have free time and you want to go out to Blue Access for members, we'll have each one, and it'll have a link that'll take you out directly, so you can do that. Or if you prefer on your computer or your phone, or if you prefer to just have it on your phone, you can go to each one individually.
But if I go to each of them individually, how can I link it to my insurance benefit? Because a lot of apps are not.
They do it, like themselves, like you just enroll and they'll start linking it after you enter like your ID or your ID number for Blue Cross Blue Shield. They make it super easy, and then they handle all the billing, and so I look at my statements and everything is covered completely. Yeah,
So once you register, you don't have to do anything other than participate.
That's input information.
Yeah. Like really basic information, super easy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No. I was saying that, so I was quiet.
On the nurse advocate, you said you could call like for a family member or something. But the person that you're calling about isn't covered. Do they have to be covered members in order to?
For them to help that, yes.
Okay.
But what they do, what the health advocates do is that causes stressors on us, right? So we're a covered member with UT benefits, and we're trying to help our aging mother. And that's causing you stress, and you don't know how to help her. What they can do is kind of walk you through that process. They even have, forgetting what it's called, but like when you're preparing to lose someone, they can help you personally with that. And then if there's a deficit, like if they're having trouble with transportation, then that advocate, that clinical health advocate can check with the social worker and say, hey, I'm having a hard time with transportation and what they're doing with kids. Is there a resource in the community that can help? And they can just relay that over to say, there's bus or there's transit or there's this volunteer service.
What about the nurse advocate? Same thing.
Yeah,
That-
it's the same, yeah. So they can help with anything that's medical or clinical or. All right. Anything else?
And this app you mentioned for like a digital, like the doctor medical service, instead of free. Okay, I just wonder.
Yes, it's Indy Live. So Indy Live, you'll register for that one. And then you can see the doctor virtually over the phone. If you need prescriptions, they can call a prescription in for you, and you'll have your copay for your prescription, but you don't have to pay the copay for that Indy Live when you talk to them.
Okay, so but you will be billed to the insurance, yes, being like a family doctor.
Yes. So all of these programs still bill Blue Cross, so there is a cost associated. That cost is just not transferred to you guys. UT actually pays for those services as part of y'all have benefits. So when I say y'all have great benefits,
Right. And
yeah,
how about
they're
that?
great.
mental health, counseling impact. Yeah, do we need to pay for COVID or?
Yes.
That's not happening.
Mental health does have a copay. The only way it doesn't is if you use MD Live, because MD Live across the board is no copay. But Headway or any of your other behavioral health, excuse me, services you would have to pay. Yep.
Yeah. One of those.
Questions up there.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Gym, that's for the, it's also about the gym. Easy, right? Children's, it's a service.
Retirees, we would have to check with UT Care for.
Or you can just answer like, say,
Okay,
can you see that? Yeah.
sorry about the
The
presentation.
dietitian virtually is similar to MD Live, the dietitian. You can just address it like.
Okay.
to-
So there was a question in the chat asking if the dietitian virtual visit is similar to MD Live. Is there an app there that can be accessed? So the dietitian, I think the question is addressing the dietitian that we've added, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they're just actually on the HAS team, the Health Select team, to be able to help with your benefits and coach through that. So there's not like a virtual visit with that.
The next one.
The
The
next-
the express scripts is scheduled for 11 o'clock.
Okay. And for Express Scripts, yes, their presentation is scheduled for 11 o'clock. Okay. All right. Well, thank you all. Appreciate y'all coming in and being involved.
All right, thank you all.
Thank y'all.
Yeah, 31 people.
It is very helpful, and would you please share with us the phone call? Because there are lots of app, I cannot remember the name.
Yes, yeah.
Just email HR.
HR.
Yeah, at the university,
Uh-huh.
and then we'll go ahead and, we need to gather all the information from our vendors and we'll email it out to the campus or put it onto the website.
Okay, that's awesome. Very helpful.
Thank you.
We have the other lectures being what?
Yes, some are, but some are in another room, right?
Yeah, so the next one, the presentation will be Express Scripts and it'll be in this room
Okay, what's that?
at 11.
It's very nice to meet you. Thank you.
Yes.
For doing the chat, because I was gonna miss it.
Yeah, I think because it's always this campus where there's a lot of,